You may be in your schoolyard playing when the signal comes. That signal means to stop whatever you are doing and get to the nearest safe place fast. Always remember, the flash of an atomic bomb can come at any time, no matter where you may be. You might be out playing at home when the warning comes. Then be sure to get into the house fast, where your parents have fixed a safe place for you to go. If you are not close to home when you hear the warning, go to the nearest safe cover. Know where you are to go, or ask an older person to help you. You know the places marked with the S sign? They're safe places to go when you hear the alarm. If there is a warning, you will hear it before the bomb explodes. But sometimes, and this is very, very important, sometimes the bomb might explode without any warning. Then the first thing we would know about it would be the flash. And that means duck and cover fast, wherever you are. There's no time to look around or wait. Be like Bert. When there is a flash, duck and cover, and do it fast. That's what this film is all about. Duck and cover. This is an official civil defense film produced in cooperation with the Federal Civil Defense Administration and in consultation with the Safety Commission of the National Education.
signs the country could carry out another missile test today. North Korea's last intercontinental ballistic missile test earlier this month raised global concerns. Some experts believe the missile had the range to reach Alaska and Hawaii. Hawaii is the first state to announce a public campaign urging people to prepare for a nuclear attack. Carter Evans is in Honolulu in a Cold War-era tunnel deep under the Diamond Head volcanic crater.
We're in a bunker underneath about 100 feet of rock. These old military tunnels are now used for storage, but one lawmaker here in Hawaii would like to change that. You see, this could be an ideal place to ride out a nuclear attack, if only there were enough time to get here. Every time North Korea fires a missile, the regime gets one step closer to reaching the Hawaiian Islands.
In the last 2 years, there were 56 missile launches.
You've been paying attention.
That is a wake-up call.
State Representative Gene Ward says it would take less than 20 minutes for a nuclear missile to reach Honolulu, something state officials want the nearly 1.5 million people who live in the islands to prepare for.
First thing that we are responsible for is the security of our people.
So you're looking at what you got and saying, we got something we can put to use here.
At least to keep the government running, and that's the important part of it.
In the event of a nuclear emergency, Ward wants key government officials to have a safe place to operate, here beneath Diamond Head. The Jewel of Waikiki houses a little-known network of tunnels the military has used for more than a century. This is something the public doesn't get to see.
Very rarely. No.
Lieutenant Colonel Charles Anthony is with the National Guard. He showed us the labyrinth of concrete tunnels and bunkers built into the dormant volcano, and he says there are no plans to use them as a shelter.
So this was never designed to house a lot of people for any period of time?
No, it was designed to withstand an artillery barrage and also to unleash an artillery barrage in the opposite direction. But this was not really designed for people. This was designed for equipment, material, and weapons.
Back in the 50s, the government turned these old ammunition storage rooms in the tunnels into a civil defense hub. Today, the state's Emergency Operations Center runs 24/7 in an underground bunker nearby.
We'll have about 15 minutes or so to get the word out.
Retired General Vern Miyagi is in charge of the state's emergency management agency. He says don't expect those 50s-era civil defense drills.
First, you duck, and then you cover.
Emergency officials believe the majority of the population here would survive the initial explosion. What they need to be prepared for is the nuclear fallout and to stay inside for up to 2 weeks.
What we focus on right now is shelter in place. The idea is to figure out ahead of time where you are, where your family is, and what is the best type of shelter that they could get to at that time of the day.
What a lot of people are concerned about here on the islands is the impact that all this talk about a nuclear attack could have on tourism. You see, this economy relies heavily on the roughly 9 million visitors who come here every year. And the local government wants everyone to know Hawaii is still open for business.
Well, that is a good message, but it's very unsettling that you even have to consider this.
Exactly. More and more people talk about sort of
Yeah.
that idea. Of what's
With the North Koreans to prepare for the unthinkable and even thinking to help us sort of get North Korea off the ledge. What do you think?
Right. Well, I mean,
I see China, though, more aggressively working with the North Koreans to prepare for the unthinkable and even thinking to help us sort of get North Korea off the ledge. What do you think?
right. Well, I mean, let's play it out. North Korea launches a nuclear strike. They say they can reach Alaska. It's still U.S. soil. Okay, they might kill 6 people with a nuclear weapon because it's not a very populated area, but at the same time, it's still U.S. soil. We launch a counterattack because something like that can't go unanswered. You potentially find yourself in another Pearl Harbor scenario where we are forced to actually go to war with North Korea. Is China going to side with North Korea? Probably not, but they definitely don't have the resources and don't want to fight the United States of America. Where does Russia come in on that? That could lay directly on Congress as they start to vote on
North Korea's news anchor sounds joyous as she announces Kim Jong-un's arrival at this massive ceremonial hall. The North Korean leader is the star of his own show, speaking behind 12 microphones, there to celebrate his recent intercontinental ballistic missile test firing and to hand out commendations to the scientists behind it. One woman who receives an award can't contain her emotions on stage. What's not mentioned? That Kim's missile test may have fallen short on re-entry, at least according to South Korean intelligence. Analysts say this public awards ceremony was designed to project success to his people and to send a message.
The medal ceremony was to tweak United States and provoke the world and consolidate the image of North Korea as a true nuclear power that emerged victoriously out of this long standoff.
But what Kim may not have realized is that his spectacle may also have intelligence value for his rivals. Analyst Michael Madden, who consults with intelligence agencies about North Korean leaders, tells CNN this man receiving an award is Ri Pyong-chol, a former Air Force general. And right behind him, Kim Jong-sik, an accomplished rocket scientist.
These are Kim Jong-un's top missile managers.
Kim Jong-sik, Ri Pyong-chol, and an official named Jang Chang-ha are the 3 superstars behind Kim's missile program and are believed to be at every launch. At least one was seen right behind him on July 4th when the long-range missile was fired. CNN is told intelligence agencies around the world are watching these three men carefully. Their body language and behavior toward Kim are different from other North Korean elites. They share hugs, smiles, and cigarettes with their vicious boss and enjoy privileges not given to most North Koreans.
These are gentlemen that live in basically a whole floor of an apartment high-rise. They have domestic staff. Their family members get to go to elite schools. They have the top health care.
Analysts say this ceremony also shows how these scientists are Kim's key to threatening the West.
It's significant to note that those were the scientists who accompanied Kim Jong-un when he visited his father's tomb recently. And he used to rely heavily on military leaders to support his regime. And now his power bases seem to have shifted to scientists who enabled the success of missile
U.S. intelligence assessment found North Korea could have an ICBM capable of carrying a nuke as early as next year, 2 years earlier than previously thought. And North Korea warning yesterday that it will hit the U.S. with a, quote, powerful nuclear hammer if it attempts a regime change. The threat comes after CIA Director Mike Pompeo's comments last week at the Aspen Security Forum. Watch.
It would be a great thing to denuclearize the peninsula, to get those weapons off of that. But the thing that is most dangerous about it is the character who holds the control over them today. So from the administration's perspective, the most important thing we can do is separate those two, right? Separate capacity and someone who might well have intent, and break those two apart.
All right, Ambassador, how should we be responding to such threat?
Well, I think our options are very limited after, in my view, 25 years of pursuing the wrong policy with North Korea, of trying diplomacy and sanctions to affect their behavior. It was never going to work. It didn't work through 3 successive administrations. It won't work if we try it in year 26. I think you're down now to one diplomatic option, and that is to convince China that it's ultimately in their interest to reunite the two Koreas. The way you eliminate the North Korean nuclear program is to eliminate North Korea. It's a hard argument to make, but I think it's doable. If we fail, we are now, because of the progress they've made, not entirely to the surprise of at least some people, that you have to ask, what will a president do when he sees an ICBM on a North Korean launch pad judged capable of reaching the United States when we don't know what's under the nose cone?
Wow.
Are you going to let it take off and hope it hits somewhere else? I mean, that is the real concern, and it's coming very soon.
I mean, but that's what's so difficult about this is, you know, it sounds like what you're saying is we have to really explore the military option, which could leave millions of North Koreans dead because their leader doesn't care about them.
Well,
and South Koreans he's prepared. I mean, that's what they've been. That's part of their biggest propaganda push is the West is coming. They want to kill us, and they're prepared to have millions of their citizens die. I don't know that we've faced an enemy like that.
Well, that's why they're irrational in our terms, and anybody who is prepared to do that is somebody also capable, in a kind of Hitler in the bunker mentality, of attacking us, even if they know North Korea will be turned into a charcoal briquette as a result. Nobody wants to see this happen to South Koreans, but I think the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff put this very well the other day. Conflict on the Korean Peninsula may sound unimaginable, and he wants to do everything to avoid it, but what's really unimaginable to him is North Korea having the ability to kill Americans with nuclear weapons, and that he will work to stop.
And I think the estimates are probably right here that it's coming quicker than we all thought.
Wow.
And the calculations about military action, they're both correct. That at what point does the American president say the threat to us is so great that we will take an action that may result in all those artillery shells raining down on Seoul? How quickly can we take all of those out? And what does day 3, 4, 5 look like? That is a military, I mean, that is
or
just
year 3, 4, 5.
Or year 3, 4, 5.
Part of the problem
that American people, at least those who I've talked with and have read about, have with our focus right now. And drilling down to the point that you made earlier is so important. Finding out, okay, if there was Russian meddling in the overall election in the United States as there were in other elections around the world, how do we stop that from happening? You know, apart from whatever politically people want to think, you know, President Trump benefited or didn't benefit from it. Apart from that, because it becomes that shiny object upon which we are so focused on. And in the shadows, North Korea can do, and not even shadows anymore.
Right.
They can come right out tonight. They're planning another test. I mean, they can come out and do what they want, and we call that practice. And you play like you practice. So sooner or later, they're going to have a game.
And who are they buying that technology from? That's what I want to know.
From Russia and China.
Right. That's the irony. From the very people that we say we're investigating
do you think
about.
China will step up to the plate?
I think they should, because I think it's in their interest. I think if you get a nuclear-capable North Korea, Japan will get nuclear weapons, and that should concern China. So the argument is that the buffer zone that North Korea represents is no longer so critical to China that it can risk having this regime with nuclear weapons. They don't want American troops on the Yalu River. Here's good news. We don't want American troops on the Yalu River. There's a deal here if we had enough time.
I wanted to give you a chance to respond to Marie's point earlier, because you made the point much more eloquently than I could. If you could pose your initial question to the ambassador again.
About China, which question?
Before China.
Before China, the question about where's the line that we're willing to take. Like if the U.S. president's sitting there and he says, okay, there's a threat to the U.S., but if we take action, X million number of South Koreans will die. How do you make that calculation sitting in this situation?
Yeah. Well, the first question for the American president is, how do I protect Americans? That's the decision. But what I think it means with respect to what we do in North Korea is that it would not simply be an attack on the ICBM on the launch pad. That you would go in even beforehand to take out the artillery massed across the DMZ that could threaten Seoul. And look, we've got plans. We've had them for a long time with South Korea to go into the north, to secure the nuclear weapons. That's where we're going. And that's why you say to China, we're going to see reunification here. You want to do it the hard way, or do you want to do it the easy way?
We will all have to be able to take care of ourselves. The bomb might explode when there are no grown-ups near. Paul and Patty know this, and they're always ready to take care of themselves. Here they are on their way to school on a beautiful spring day. But no matter where they go or what they do, they always try to remember what to do if the atom bomb explodes right then. It's a bomb. Duck and cover. Paul and Patty know what to do. Paul covered the back of his head so that he wouldn't be burned, and Patty covered herself with the coat she was carrying. They knew how to duck and cover. They acted right away when the flash came. If they had been at this doorway when the bomb flashed, Paul and Patty would have ducked and covered this way, like this girl. Heavy doorways are a good place to duck and cover. She will be safer, too. Here's Tony going to his Cub Scout meeting. Tony knows the bomb can explode any time of the year, day or night. He is ready for it. Duck and cover. Atta boy, Tony. That flash means act fast. Tony knows that it helps to get to any kind of cover. This wall was close by, so that's where he ducked and covered. Tony knew what to do. Notice how he keeps from moving or from getting up and running? He stays down until he is sure the danger is over. The man helping Tony is a civil defense worker. His job is to help protect us when there is danger of the atomic bomb. We must obey the civil defense worker. We must know how to duck and cover in the school bus or in any other bus or streetcar. Duck and cover. Don't wait. Duck away from the windows fast. The glass may break and fly through the air and cut you. Sundays, holidays, vacation time, we must be ready every day, all the time, to do the right thing if the atomic bomb explodes. Duck and cover. This family knows what to do, just as your own family should. They know that even a thin cloth helps protect them. Even a newspaper can save you from a bad burn. But the most important thing of all is to duck and cover yourself, especially where your clothes do not cover you. No matter where we live, in the city or the country, we must be ready all the time for the atomic bomb. Duck and cover. That's the first thing to do, duck and cover. The next important thing to do after that is to stay covered until the danger is over. Yes, we must all get ready now so we know how to save ourselves if the atomic bomb ever explodes near us. If you do not know just what to do, ask your teacher when this film is over. Discuss what you could do in different places if a bomb explodes. Older people will help us as they always do, but there might not be any grown-ups around when the bomb explodes. Then, you're on your own.
Remember what to do, friends. Now tell me right out loud. What are you supposed to do when you see the flash?